Welcome back, statisticians. This is Unit 3 Summative Review, Day 2. For the first two graphs, it asks to give the mean and the standard deviation of each graph. Remember, the mean is going to be right in the middle. So my mean is 80. The standard deviation is going to occur at the first inflection point. Since it is 2 units away, my standard deviation is 2. For the second graph, my mean is right in the middle, 0.5, and at my inflection points, I find that they are 0.1 units away, so my standard deviation is 0.1. Number 2 asks, when is it necessary to calculate a z-score? The reason why we calculate z-scores is when you have a data value that is not precisely 1, 2, or 3 sigmas away. In other words, you can't use the empirical rule. Number 3, I'm going to find the percent of data below and above. You could look on your z-score table, but now that we know how to use the calculator, I'm going to do that instead. To get to this normal CDF, you select second vars 2, negative, second comma, 99, comma, and then you type in your z-score, 2.24, end parentheses, enter. I found the percent below was 98.7. Since the total percent must add up to 100%, to find the percent that is above, I simply subtract 98.7 from 100, and I find that 1.3% is below a z-score of 2.24. You might have rounded a little bit differently than I did. Part B, I typed in second vars 2, negative, second comma, 99, comma, negative 1.65, end parentheses, and I got 4.95%. To find the percent above, I subtracted that from 100 and got 95.05%. If you're not getting the same answer as me, make sure you typed in the calculator exactly what I typed in. Part C, I got 92.9% below, and 100 minus 92.9 is 7.1% above. And then for Part D, I found 31.9% was below, and 68.1% was above. Number 4, calculate the z-score for each situation, then find the percent below. Sketch a graph to represent the situation. I'm going to start by sketching my graph. It looks like a normal curve with the mean right in the middle. I need to calculate my z-score using my z-score formula. Z is equal to x minus x bar over s. Here I have my x bar and my s. 30 must go in for x. Make sure you put the 30 minus 23 in parentheses when you plug it in your calculator, or you'll get the wrong answer. I found that I got a z-score of 1.71. On my sketch, 1.71 is going to be around here. Since I want the percent less than, I'm going to shade to the left. Using your calculator, type in normal CDF, negative E99, comma 91.71, and you'll find that 95.6% of the data are less than 30. If you don't have a calculator, you can look up 1.71 on your z-score table, and you'll get the same answer. When I plugged in x minus x bar over s, I plugged in 0.75 minus 1 divided by 0.2, and I got a negative 1.25. This time, since it's negative, I'm going to plot a point to the left, but I'm still going to shade to the left. When I plugged that into my calculator, I found that 10.6% of the data are less than 0.75. And here's what I got for part C. I got a z value of 1.25. Here's my graph. And then whenever I plugged that into the calculator, I found that 87.5% of the data are greater than. I didn't even catch that. So 87.5% are less than. If I want the percent that's greater than, I'm going to subtract that from 100. So I'm going to get 100 minus 87.5, which is 12.5. My second number 4, that was a typo. The weights of 6th graders are normally distributed with a mean of 75 pounds and a standard deviation of 3.5 pounds. Draw a diagram to represent the situation. Label the horizontal axis in pounds. My mean is 75, so that's going to go right in the middle. My other important points are one standard deviation to the left is 78.5, then 82, then 85.5. If I subtract 3.5, I find that one standard deviation to the left is 71.5, then 68, then 64.5. To find the z-score that corresponds to a weight of 80 pounds, I'm going to use my z-score formula, x minus x bar over s. I plug in 80 for x, my mean was 75, and my sigma, or my s, was 3.5. I get a z-score of 1.43. Whenever I plug that into the calculator, using normal CDF, I get 92.4% are less than 80 pounds. To find the weight that's in the 75th percentile, I use inverse norm of 0.75. The way you get that is second vars 3, and then type in 0.75, which is 75 as a decimal, end parentheses, and you get a z-score of 0.6745. We're not done yet. Inverse norm gives me the z-score, but I want the weight that's in the 75th percentile. So I'm going to set that equal to my x minus x bar over s. 75 goes in for my x bar, and 3.5 goes in for s. To get rid of the 3.5 in the denominator, I'm going to multiply by both sides by 3.5. That's going to cancel out my 3.5s, and I get, I'm not sure what I get, and then you add 75 to both sides, and I end up getting an x value of 77 pounds. Part D. What percent of the weights are between 72 and 78 pounds? I have to find a z-score for both 72 and 78, and then I can use my calculator to find the percent in between. My z-score for 72 is going to be 72 minus 75 divided by 3.5, and I get negative 0.86. My z-score for 78 is going to be 78 minus 75 all over 3.5, and I get positive 0.86. I plug this into the calculator. Under normal CDF, negative 0.86, comma, positive 0.86, and I get about 61%. Sketch a graph. Okay. Mean right in the middle. Negative 0.86 is going to come a little bit before the inflection point on both sides. And I'm going to sketch the part in between. For part 5A, I showed you exactly what your calculator should look like right before you press enter. And I get 0.8849. To convert that to a percent, I move the decimal over 2 places, and I get 88.49%. If you rounded that to 88% or 88.5%, that's fine. It's okay to round as long as you round correctly. Part B, notice that this is a greater than symbol and not a less than symbol. So that means that whatever answer we get, we're going to have to subtract it from 100. So your screen should look like this. And I end up getting 1.8%. For part C, I got 16.6%. And for part D, I got 0.4399, or you can round that to 0.44. Remember, for part D, this is a z-score, not a percent. So don't try to tell me that it's 43.99%. It's a z-score. To prove that you watched both videos, do not write the secret word from the first video. The new secret word is Milo, because he's so cute. So, I repeat, do not write the secret word from the first video. Only write the new secret word, which is Milo. Last but not least, a little rounding fun. Round to the nearest 100th place. The 100th place is the second place after the decimal. You always look to the number after it to tell you what to do. 5 or higher tells you to round up. So I'm going to round it to 9.77. 4 or lower tells you to stay the same. So I'm going to keep that as 4.55. This 8 tells me to round up. Since I can't really round 9 to 10, I'm going to round the 0.69 to 0.70. Happy studying. If you have any questions, my email. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.